you so much for your time. I know you've been doing a lot of press for this, but rightfully so, because not only are you and everybody in this cast so wonderfully brilliant, it was, I felt like I was watching a Broadway show that I had a front row seat. It was a master class of acting. And I have to say, you know, being a parent, this one really hit me hard.
I get it.
So yes, so that's my first question. I know you're an actor. I know you do a lot of roles, my friend, but how do you set that aside and set it aside saying, you know I'm a parent, but I'm not going to bring that into my acting, or do you?
It was hard not to on this one, honestly. But it was an interesting paradox, because I think what Richard and everybody in the movie is going through, unless you have it's happened to you, which God forbid it never does, yeah. I don't know that we really can conceive of it. So you do your actor thing and just sort of think, well, what if, and that thing. But I certainly know, having two children, that the idea of being either set of parents in this was so beyond horrifying, honestly.
Yeah.
And to think that people are around now who are living with it every day. The only research I did was I read Adam Lanza's father's beautiful essay in the New Yorker about being the father of a school shooter, right, which was heartbreaking and beautiful and very illuminating. But I found everything else I needed as an actor was in Fran's amazing script.
Yeah, and I can't even believe that not only was it brilliantly written, first-time director? What's up with that?
No, I know. I mean, the Martians must have come to him in the night and written it for him, something.
But look, he knows how lucky he was too to have you four around that table, no question about it. But it was so beautifully written and so beautifully executed, and that he left you in that room. He was off in a van or wherever it was directing.
Just outside. He was just outside. Yeah.
Tell me about that, because that's difficult to have your director, to give you that kind of freedom between the four of you. Wow, what a gift.
Well, he's an actor, so he knows exactly what actors need better than anybody. Yeah. But to be honest, directors are usually in Video Village, which is someplace else. So, yeah. But Anne probably mentioned this to you, but all four of us have no real memory of the camera being there. If I think about it, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. There was a camera and there were several crew members around, but it was so easy to focus on the other actors in such a great way, because we really just were at that table, laser beamed into each other. It was kind of easy in a way. I know that sounds confusing, but it was easy because everybody was so good.
Right.
And bringing their A game for sure. And part of me was in Richard, and then part of me was like, well, look at you, Martha Plimpton. That's amazing what you're doing. Good girl, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. And Jason Isaac too. Like, I've never seen him do anything like this.
I don't think he's ever done anything like this. He wanted to do it. He knew how astonishing an opportunity it was. And he really fought for it is too hard a word, but he really wanted it, and was, and very smartly so.
I was going to say, well, obviously I would think that your theater background would have helped you a lot with this one, perhaps.
Yeah. Just, I've got the good memory muscle to learn pages and pages of dialogue, and then to have the stamina to do 20-minute takes too.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're used to being on that stage for a few hours, like, 20-minute takes for Reed Birney.
What do you need? How long do you want me to talk?
Yeah, no problem. But I would think too, what's most important is when you're doing a movie like this, or a play or whatever, the most important part of it, to get it out there, is trust in your fellow actors.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that and how that bond developed.
Well, we had 2.5 days of rehearsal in New York, 3 weeks before we went to Idaho to film. And I think, as all of us being stage creatures, we were really, really glad to have that, because I don't know how we could have walked into this cold, not only just artistically, but emotionally. So we had this very interesting 2.5 days where we did a lot of what we call table work, which is we're around the table and we're reading the script and we're asking questions, and that doesn't make sense to me. And what if I said this instead of that? But it was also, we all knew unconsciously or unspoken, not unconsciously, but that this was our opportunity to bond.
Right.
And we did in a very beautiful, fast way. So that we, in those 3 weeks, when we came back together, we had worked on the script with knowing what the other people sounded like and looked like.
Right.
And it made it easy to do in a way. It's going to sound confusing, Bonnie, but the whole thing was a joy from start to finish.
I can imagine.
As actors, we knew we had something incredibly special. It's the kind of project that I think this is why Jason wanted it so much, because he'd done so many things that weren't this, but it's the kind of opportunity that you dream about. It's just 4 actors at a table. Oh my God.
Right. Yeah.
What a gift.
Absolutely. Yeah, no question. And I mean, you know Anne from before. It's not like you guys walked into the room together. Like,
I had never met Anne before.
I did not know that. I thought
I had never met Anne Dowd before. And
so, wow.
and I actually think I'd only seen her in a play several years before. She says she wasn't in that play, but I think she was. I knew Martha just to say hi and hang out a little bit. Didn't know Jason at all.
Right.
But that's what I mean. It was, I hadn't even watched Handmaid's Tale at that point. My family all had, but I hadn't. So it was a brand new thing.
That's
all
amazing.
Coming together.
Wow.
And it happened very fast and beautifully.
Beautifully is an understatement. You know, I want to ask you, Reed, because I asked this of Anne and Fran as well, but you know, as parents, we can only kind of watch our children for so many hours a day. We can see if they're troubled. We try to give them help, you would think. But at the end of the day, you don't know what's really going on in there and what triggers something. But
or even where they are sometimes. And
where they are, you know, or what the, you know, the kids that are sitting in the basement on their laptops all day long. Who are they talking to? What are they doing? You know, you don't know, but you don't know what's triggering somebody to, God forbid, do a school shooting or you know, whatever.
Or anything like that.
And you get these 2 parents that come together and they're trying to, you know, have this cathartic, I'm sorry, I don't know, but you can't really blame Richard and Linda, the characters you and you can't blame them. You know what I mean?
No, I think that's the big surprise of the movie, is that you expect Richard and Anne, as the parents of the shooter, to be blamable and villainous in a way. We hadn't done something right. We didn't pay attention, something. And I think that's the real surprise for so many people seeing the movie, is that we are as victimized as anybody.
For sure.
And then, as I say in the movie, the world mourned 10 people, we mourned 11. Yeah. We don't even get the luxury, strange word, of mourning our son.
Yeah. It's
I once played Lee Harvey Oswald in a play.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of research and went to Dallas, and I met one of his pallbearers, who was a journalist for the Fort Worth Star, I think it is. Yeah. And they got to the funeral, they were covering it, you know, just a little splinter team. Nobody was interested in Oswald's burial. And they didn't have enough people to be pallbearers. So the journalists were pressed into being the pallbearers. And I thought of that a lot during the filming, just that poor family burying their son,
right,
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah.
And they don't even have enough people to get him out of the hearse.
Wow.
You know, just real, and then pariahs for the rest of their life. And he's got 2 daughters who are, you know, who were tiny then. Sure. In 63.
Yeah.
And I think Marina, the wife, has done a pretty good job of sparing them. But, you know, their names are June and Rachel, and it was Oswald for a long time till the mother remarried. Amazing. They still know their father killed Kennedy.
Yep.
You know, they still suffer from that.
Of course.
Nothing you can do their whole lives long.
Yeah, it's just it. One thing about this film, I have to say, I hope that it sparks a lot of discussion. Have you met anybody, or that people have seen it? That I know Fran told me that he did, and but they've spoken to any parents or maybe that have seen it, that have gone through something
I
like
haven't, I haven't, and I certainly have read some very interesting stuff that people have posted online about how it's affected them, and a couple about I lost a friend, and this
that?
movie was. One person said it was medicine, not in a bad way, I think, but it was
Yeah,
really
yeah,
health
cathartic.
healing.
Yeah.
But I suspect as the conversation goes on and the movie expands, that some of those parents and of shooters will become aware, have to become aware, and I hope they see it, and I hope it's not. I hope it's healing for them, and it's not disrespectful in any way.
Yeah. Yeah, wrap in a couple minutes, but I gotta ask you a couple questions, because you really are one of my favorite actors. My goodness, you're in all my favorite shows, like House of Cards, The Blacklist. You show up everywhere. I love when I see you, everything. But I had the immense privilege to see you on Broadway in The Humans. Congratulations on winning the Tony Award. Well deserved.
Thank you very much.
What was it like to be a part of that show? I actually just saw the film that premiered at TIFF at the Toronto Film Festival too. So
good?
It was good. It was good. I have to say, not as good as the play. I like live.
That's the right answer, Bonnie.
There you go. There you go. You were not in it, so forget it.
They forgot to cast me. Okay.
It's different. It's different. Whatever. It's a movie. But I have to say, I just love Broadway. I can't wait to get back to New York to see. But what is that like for you to be on that stage day after day, hour, whatever, and then you win that Tony for that? Wow.
Well, that was a remarkable journey in that we started off Broadway in a limited run in a 300 seat house. And it was going to be, a month, 5-week run. And it's happened a couple of times to me in my life where the play is extraordinary and then moves and moves and moves. But I was never so central to it as I was in The Humans. Yeah. So it was a pretty miraculous journey, honestly. And it was a beautiful part. And, I felt I was always very aware. I would never have cast me in that part. A janitor from Scranton. I'm always in a coat and tie. So it was a great sort of mind-opening experience for me that I could play that guy. Yeah. I think all janitors from Scranton look like Fred Flintstone, and it was like, no, they don't. They actually look like regular guys.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it was a miraculous 3-year journey.
It was great. You were so good. And so what's next? I understand that you just booked the role. You're going to be working in The Menu with Anna Taylor-Joy. Oh God, could anybody be hotter right now than her?
Well, she's on fire. But Ralph Fiennes is in it too.
Yes, what a cast!
And Janet McTeer and Judith Light and John Leguizamo. I actually finish it. This is why we had to delay our thing.
That's okay.
I finish it on Sunday.
So wow.
It's been a fantastic job.
Can't wait.
Great people. So funny, so great. Mark Mylod, our director, is from Succession and Game of Thrones, so he really knows what he's doing. And it's been a complete joy from top to bottom. I'm a lucky duck, I have to say.
Well, we're lucky ducks to be able to see you and everything that you do. I really listen. I know it's been a long shooting day, and I do appreciate your time tonight.
I'm so grateful to talk to you, and thanks for accommodating my crazy schedule.
Oh, thank you. Listen, I said I'll stay up as late as possible to talk to you and read. Whatever, 3 a.m, I'm there, no problem. Angie, you just heard that, but I'm not just joking. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and come visit us in Toronto sometime. Okay.
Love Toronto. Love Toronto.
Thank you for your time. Good night.
Bye-bye.